I've said it before and I'll say it again. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario!
Woohoo! Let's go!
Oh, don't mind me here. I'm just enjoying a little bit of the bubbly. For those of you who can't see me on the video and only heard the slurp, I'm enjoying a little bit of... Actually, it's not even champagne. It's cider, but... I mean, if I'm going to drink something in a champagne glass, I gotta say the Chris Jericho line, right? A little bit of the bubbly. The show won... not this show, the morning show that I work for won the Union Tribune's best morning show for the third year in a row, and we were celebrated here at the sales pit. We got some cake and some bubbly. So, just enjoying it. It's one of the good things. I was actually not part of the celebration. They forgot to tell me. After they did tell me about the cake and the champagne, though, so it's okay. Fridays are crazy busy for me. And we had 3 comedians in studio today, so I had to edit out 3 videos. It's been a pain. It's been kind of busy. So I'm going to try to keep this one a little bit quicker. Also, a quick update. Tomorrow, rain or shine, even if it kills me, I will put out my first ever podcast in Spanish. It will not be on this particular... it will not be on the Show Presents channel. It'll be on my independent channel, which is you can find... As of right now, you will be able only to find it because on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube, Super Dario World Podcast. All right, not the Show Presents Super Dario World, Super Dario World Podcast. It's gonna take a few weeks for it to be in the iHeartRadio app. It's gonna take a while for it to be solo on iTunes. So again, tomorrow, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Super Dario World Podcast. I will load my first podcast in Spanish there if you want to check it out. Basically, I'm gonna just talk about some of the things that I talked about this week. I'm going to keep it kind of short too because, again, I'm recording it today. I'm not going to record it at home. I'll edit it out at home later. But, again, rain or shine. I guess it doesn't really affect it because I'm inside a studio. But I'll load it tomorrow for sure. I got to get things rolling there. This podcast will be up on video hopefully later today. Yesterday was kind of upsetting. I finished editing out my podcast yesterday. The video. I loaded it onto YouTube, and I thought everything's fine. Everything's great. I come into the studio this morning because I thought I was done, and I got a copyright notice because I get copyrights. Every single Thursday, I get a copyright notice because I use songs, and even if you use a 10-second clip, it'll be like, oh, copyright stuff, and I don't care. Honestly, I don't care about copyright stuff. Basically, it means that the monetization, it goes to the holder of the copyright. And I'm like, whatever, man. Just take it. I just like having fun. However... For the first time, the copyright notice was like, you can't play it at all. So I had to blank out that piece of audio. It's really weird now, but apparently I'm going to have to try to do some changes there. I might not even do songs anymore or just to avoid copyright drama because it's not worth it, man. Like, honestly, I loaded the thing yesterday. I thought super early, and it turns out, not so much. Because of this little tiny annoying thing here. Also, I forgot to check my mail that it notified me about that. Well, that is a lie. I did check my mail and I did get the copyright notice, but I get it every Thursday. This one was different because for some reason the copyright holder is like, nah, you can't use it at all. Like, I don't want to make money either. Stupid. People are stupid. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Playing stupid games, winning stupid prizes. It's one of my favorite phrases of all time because, it adds comedic value to sometimes certain harsher situations. And also helps you put things in perspective. It's like, was I being stupid here? Maybe yes, maybe no. Anyway, this brings to light. It's something that actually happened a few weeks ago. Well, actually last week. But it's I read another article about this recently. The article was written, again, a few days ago. I'm a little bit behind on this, okay? I got stuff to do. Let me tell you about a guy named Carson King. So, for those of you who don't know, Carson King is a guy who put up a sign during a football game that said, basically, give me money for beer, and for Busch beer, and he put his Venmo there. and people started sending him money. And things got really wild, and the guy ended up making over $1 million, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to donate this to charity. So the guy got $1 million clean, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to donate to charity. And he did it for cancer research for children. Really great thing. Anheuser-Busch got in there, said that we'll match the amount. Other charities got involved too. It was great. It was all around a great thing, great story. Then a reporter from the Des Moines newspaper, I forget the name. I can look it up right now. But let me see. Des Moines Register. Yeah, from the Des Moines Register interviewed him because, this was an interesting story. It made national news. Guy who wanted beer ends up making $1 million. This is a very charitable country, and we support really stupid things. Anyway, well, not cancer. That cancer's cool, but I mean, a guy who wanted beer. The cancer thing was not really a thing in the beginning. Anyway, so this reporter interviewed him, and by doing research in the kid's background, he found that he had some racist tweets or some offensive tweets and stuff like that. Now, I need to clarify a few things here. The Carson King, the guy, the beer guy, let's call him the beer guy, some of the tweets that he made are not shown. They don't tell you what he tweeted, but they do say that it was a reply to somebody else's tweet, and it was a reference to a comedian, Tosh Show. Now, Tosh is the show Tosh Show, comedian Tosh. So that dude is kind of racy. He does really dark humor. So it makes sense that the comedy or the funny tweets that he made had to be in reference to something kind of risque. Let's say it risque. Anyway, so that's put out there. Carson King gets in front of it. He has to apologize. He says, oh, yeah, well, when I was a kid, I did this, blah, blah. Cancel culture in general, right? And so he apologizes, puts it out there, and people back him up. They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. You're doing a good thing now. Doesn't matter what you did when you were a 16-year-old kid. It matters what you're doing now. What Carson King, I mean, he's still a kid, but Carson King, the man. And without anybody telling him what to do, he decided, I'm going to donate $1 million to charity for cancer. Like, that's a great thing. That's what you consider to be a good person. That's a good action, right? So then everybody started coming down on that reporter. And there's a lot of things that are weird there. Now, for those of you who don't know, for the morning show that we work on, I do some research sometimes. And usually it's when we have a comedian come in studio, I have to do like a sheet of fun facts and stuff like that. And when you research somebody, I at least do go into their Twitter account, but you only go through the last few posts to see what's relevant in that moment. Let's say if they made a tweet about, I don't know, a TV show. Let's say a Netflix TV show. Oh, man, the latest season of Disenchanted is nuts. Or they just played a video game. Or thank you so much, Italy. It was great to be in there. The pasta was great or something. So that you know where they've been, or if they have something that they're talking about right now, something top of mind. So kind of know what to ask them. Something that's relevant, something that's recent. And so you do that. That is standard practice. You do try to check out their social media and stuff like that. Now, going back to when the guy was 16, I think he's 24 now. I can double check that. But going back to, he's 24 now. So going back to when he was 16 is kind of weird. And at least I've never checked the reply. I usually check the posts. Replies can you imagine having to go through somebody's reply? So you have to go to for like fine tooth and comb to get in there. So this reporter did that. That is a fact. Now, maybe the guy's OCD. Maybe the guy's just really, really wants to get the best that he can, the most information he can, but it's still kind of weird. Now, people started coming down on this reporter. I believe his name is Aaron Calvin, and they started doing the same thing to him. They started going through his old tweets and his old stuff, and they found some homophobic stuff, some racial stuff, some racy stuff, and guy got fired. So that's it. That's that's pretty funny to me, because to me that seems like poetic justice. And if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? That's the rule. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If you're going to go through somebody else's Twitter history, they're going to go through yours. It's fair game. If you've been an idiot in the past, you're screwed. Also, the rules of the game have changed. Things that were okay a decade ago apparently are not okay now. And I think that most reasonable people can say, oh yeah, whatever. He said that, he did that back then. It was okay. The unreasonable people try to hold people in the past to the standards of today. That's never going to work, all right? That's never going to work, because we didn't know as much, or things were probably cool back then, or things were probably different back then. It's just, also, I think we're a lot softer now. People are kind of little bitches right now, and they want to complain about everything. And there's like a badge of honor to being a victim, which to me is like the most pussy move ever. Like, how about have some balls? How about have some pride? How about actually stand up and be like, no, this doesn't hurt me. No, sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. You know that? There used to be like a pride in being able to take it. And like, you can't break me. The world can't break me. I'm stronger than all of you combined. Anyway, so that's what happened, right? That's funny. Now, I read an article that is somewhat infuriating. It's funny, but somewhat infuriating. Now, BuzzFeed News interviewed this guy, Aaron Calvin, and and apparently, by the way, he used to be an employee of BuzzFeed. I need to put that out there. So, a former colleague of him, a former friend, interviewed him for this, and apparently, if you guys didn't know, Aaron Calvin is the victim here. Yes, Aaron Calvin. He's the victim. You guys remember, if you listened to my podcast yesterday, it's about me and how it makes me feel. Well, this guy is the male version of that. He's part of this is his girlfriend moment. Me. Anyway, I'm just gonna read you a few things that Calvin said in this interview, and they're just great. They're just great. Okay, so after he feels like he was abandoned by his newspaper, and that he was only following standard editorial practice by performing social media search. Now, again, technically he is correct. I just mentioned it. I do go through people's social media. Going through it that deep, I don't think that's standard. Unless, Des Moines register. All right, you guys are trying to raise the bar here. All right, fine, that's you. That's all you. Going that deep is not standard, but it is standard to go through people's social media. Now, and also, before I continue with this is like a tip that I've given everybody. Don't have a Twitter. Don't have a Twitter. Twitter is garbage. People in Twitter mostly are garbage. Just stay away from Twitter. There's nothing good that comes out of it. And something that you say today that is not good in 10 years might get you fired. Just get away from it. Go clean out your social media, block everything. Just, when you load something on freaking Instagram or something, just say what's happening. Don't do all that stuff. You don't need it. If this is the way that the world's going, that standards no longer apply and that somebody's going to use it to kill you in the future, don't. Just don't be a part of that game. Don't give him ammunition. Anyway, that's my advice. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so some of the things that he said. So, standard editorial practice. Interesting. Now, this is my favorite line in the entire thing, and they put it almost in the beginning. Here he goes. This event basically set my entire life on fire. Oh, really? So, you put out a bunch of racist, sexist tweets and stuff out there on the internet. Somebody found it, used it against you, and now your life is set on fire, right? You got fired and all that stuff. Let me see if I do the math. 1, 2, 3. Isn't that the exact same thing you were trying to do to Carson? Like, the exact same thing? The only difference between you and Carson is that Carson managed to get ahead of it, and the dude donated $1 million to a charity, so people were on his side because his actions today are actually kind of cool, and your actions today are super sleazy. Isn't it the exact same thing? And you were okay with his life being set on fire, but not me, because this is how it makes me feel. Oh man, this guy's a piece of garbage. Let me continue. So yeah, because that's my favorite one. That's my favorite line out of all of these losers' lines. That's my favorite one. And he goes into a whole bunch of stuff about explaining the story and how he feels abandoned by his employer. He was only doing what he was told to do. Again, they're trying to paint the picture like he was fired for making the Carson King article. No, he wasn't fired for that. He was fired for all the posts that he did. He got canceled. That, they call cancel culture. He got canceled for that. He tried to cancel Carson, but he's the one that got canceled. Because again, nobody's perfect. We've all said dumb things. Do you know the amount of stuff that comes out of my mouth? The amount of crazy nonsense that has come out of my mouth all my life. Dude, there's a line from Bill Burr that says that they would run out of podiums for me to apologize. I say so much things. They're just words. Words are wind. Words are just wind. If there's like an old Viking saying about something about how weak are you that words can hurt you. Stuff like, come on, dude. Come on, words are just words. It does actions is what I'm worried about. Somebody can say, I'm going to kick your ass, blah, blah, I'm going to kill you, all that. You can say that all day. As long as you don't throw a punch, I'm okay with it. It's fine. It's fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Words are wind. As George R. R. Martin say, words are just wind. Anyway, let's continue. So, damn it. Okay, he also tries to make the excuse that if he found them, somebody else is going to find them as well. It's like, dude, yes, sure, somebody else can find them. They're on the internet. They're out there. They will be found. However, you were making an article of a kid who made $1 million with a stupid sign for booze. Like, there were so many angles you could have taken this. So many angles. The generosity of the American public. This guy's selfless actions. How other things that we could do for charity. Like other creative. There were so many things you could have done. But you decided to go into something that you knew was going to be damaging to him. Unless you're an idiot, you have to know. And this is something that I don't like about things today. Just when somebody's making it out there, somebody's being successful, somebody does a good thing, and they try to destroy you. That's called envy. People are very envious right now. And again, this dude made a great thing. What's his name? What's the comedian? Short guy, African American. He was with Jumanji. Kevin Hart. I'm terrible with names. Kevin Hart. He was about to host the Oscars. Something that he mentioned before was his dream job. He got bombarded with this stuff. He got canceled. Twitter, once again. And they did this to a lot of people. Like, we're just when you're about to be successful, we're gonna crucify you for things you did in the past. In the past, it was okay. Now it's not. Because now we're better. We're better than you were back then. We're smarter. We're perfect. We've never made a mistake. It's actually it reminds me of the line from Dumb and Dumber. Excuse me, Mr. Perfect! I forgot you never made a mistake. Yeah, it'll come back to bite you. So, going back to that, you play stupid games, you will win stupid prizes. Now, there was a line here that okay, all right, yeah, check this out. Throughout this entire process of discovery and inclusion of the tweets, the editor knew, the editorial board knew, and the executive editor knew how I'd included them and handed them for the article. And as far as I knew, approved of that. Which means that, okay, all right, Mr. Calvin, you were not alone in this. What you're saying is you had accomplices. But again, you're trying to move, the posts here. You're trying to move the goal. You're trying to move things. You did not get fired for that. You got fired because you were trying to uphold somebody to the same standard that you were not trying to uphold yourself, right? You got caught. It happens. When you do that, that's what happens. And so there was something here that really grinds my gears. Where is it? It really grinds my gears because he tries hiding behind other people, right? Okay, I found it. I recognize that I'm not the first person to be doxxed like this. This whole campaign was taken by right-wing ideologues and largely driven by that force. It was just a taste of what I assume that women and journalists of color suffer at all the time. But the kind of locality and regional virality of the story made it so intense. So many things here. I hate it when people try to hide in groups. Like, you're an individual. You are an individual. You will die alone. No matter what. You're dying by yourself. Whatever happens, you're dying by yourself. You can be married your entire life. You're going to die by yourself. Everybody dies alone. You're an individual. Nobody else. Like, your heart only... except certain cases, I'm guessing, with Siamese twins and stuff. Your heart only beats for you. Your brain only thinks for you. All that stuff. Only you. You're an individual. So trying to hide behind a group, I think, is pathetic. Right? Stand on your own 2 feet. Do it. Be a man. Or a woman. Whatever. But now you're trying to... And worse, you're trying to hide what behind... Oh, this is what journalists of color suffer all the time. This is what women suffer. So you're trying to be like, if you attack me, you're attacking them too. Or like, oh, I'm woke. I understand what you're feeling. I relate. So I suffer what you're suffering. Or I understand you suffer more. Therefore, you should protect me. It's really pathetic. You should be a grown-up. You should have honestly, you should just come out ahead of it and been like, you know what? It was stupid of me to try to uphold somebody to a standard that I do not wish to be upheld upon. It was stupid. This whole movement is stupid. My company should not have approved the article. I probably should not have tweeted all those things. I'm sorry. I understand now Mr. King's position. And while I have not made, $1 million charitable donation, I will try to improve for the future. I understand now. I understand this is not cool. This is not fun. Stuff like that. Right? But in here, of all the things that I've said, all the things that I've read, is there any apology? Did he really understand the lesson? Because the lesson is pretty clear. If you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. Dude's still holding his sword. At no point did he say, like, whoops, maybe holding the sword is a bad idea. Maybe pointing this sword at somebody is a bad idea. No, nowhere. So, Mr. Calvin, so far, you're an idiot. And as I've said multiple times, and it will probably be the title of this video, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and congratulations, you got a big fat prize. How are you going to get another job? I have no idea. Because the outlets that you're probably going to apply to get a job for will not take you because of that history, because they will try to uphold the standard that's killing you. So, congratulations, you're all stupid. Anyway, so I believe that that's it for today. Yeah, let's keep it like that. I got to record the Spanish version of it later on. That one will also be short, but again, tomorrow, sometime. I'll try to keep it around noon. I'll probably load it around noon. My first ever Spanish version podcast. Look forward to it. My brain's burned. I don't even know how this is going to go. This is bad. I drank too much of the bubbly. As always, thank you for listening. And wait. Any comments, questions, suggestions, you can always find me at Dario the Show on Instagram. As always, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great weekend.